Alright, this is really stupid. I started watching a video. Um, by the way, I'm playing Terraria. Yeah, it's all whatever. I'm not the best Terraria player. I didn't plan on recording this. It's usually just something I play for fun. But when I play Terraria, I listen to podcasts, listen to, whatever. Sometimes get a mythical morning, whatever. Well, I started listening to Jordan Peterson. I like Jordan Peterson. I was introduced to him on my mission, actually. I didn't meet him, but I was introduced to, like, what he does. And for the most part, I like Jordan Peterson. I think, I don't know, there, like, some things is whatever, but for the most part, I think he's, like, an intelligent person that knows what he's talking about. And this guy, and just to, like, I usually, whenever I like someone and it's borderline political, I always look at the opposite side because I'm not a freaking moron. So I looked up, why Jordan Peterson is bad, blah, 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 like why is he an a-hole or whatever was going to come up. So I found this guy. That was the top video. Um, I guess I could give him a shout out. David Pakman Show. Never heard of him. I just was watching his video. If whoever doesn't know Jordan Peterson is a psychologist or something. I'm not exactly sure what his degree is. Again, I'm not an expert on Jordan Peterson. Okay, just go look him up. You'll find him. Well, Jordan Peterson. Let's see. What should I actually do in this game? Oh, I need to go to the dungeon. Jordan Peterson is a he doesn't like to be put in a political box, which I can understand, because once you hear that either you're a left or a right, there's a lot of assumptions made, and most of them are not true. So he doesn't consider himself a political, like, icon or political person, and this guy. I'm going to play some of his video, but I'm just going to catch you up to where I'm at so I don't have to go back. It's a pretty long video. This guy claims, well, of course Jordan is a. Actually, let's go do that. Of course, Jordan is a political person. He talks about how he doesn't agree with certain things that align with the left and all this stuff, and it's just totally retarded. You can have opinions and not be political. I don't know if you heard that right, but it is possible to have opinions and not be a political person. Not only that, most of the stuff he's talking about is just like, as he says, it's like the psychological literature, and it's pretty clear, or it's like based on history and stuff. And there's actually a lot of history with psychological stuff, but whatever. And so he claims he's not, right, and he's not a political person and whatever. But this guy who, what the frick was that? That was weird. This guy who, whatever his name is, the video I'm watching, he probably, whether he's a rightist or leftist doesn't matter. But for whatever reason, he's given the right or whatever to say that no, Jordan Peterson is a rightist, even though he says he's not, because he disagrees with a lot of the stuff on the left. And the funny thing is, he doesn't actually disagree with a lot of stuff on the left. He just disagrees with the extremist left stuff. But of course, that makes you a Republican, right? If you don't agree that if you don't agree with one thing on the left, you're a rightist. You're why can't I place anything? There we go. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm making. I already dug this a long time ago. I'm just filling it in. So when I hit hardcore mode in this world, uh, or hard mode or whatever the frick it's called, the corruption won't spread. If you don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so yeah, he's claiming that he gets to dictate. It's not really that he's like getting to dictate. He's kind of like he's pretty chill, like sounding. I just think he's kind of a moron because obviously he doesn't understand a whole lot about what's going on. He says that like basically makes the claim that Peterson should not have been allowed or not have been allowed. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's hard to play and think, so I might word things really weirdly. He says Peterson, get the frick away from me. Actually, I could probably just go back to that. Here, let's go back like 5 minutes on the video.
Media. So it's absurd for him to claim to be bothered by people associating him with politics or people discussing the political implications of what he espouses. And then more importantly, discussing politics is what made the guy famous in the first place, right?
Okay. So that was exactly the line. I'm actually kind of happy that I got the exact line. So he attributes his fame to politics, which I mean, to be fair, he's right. The whole reason why Jordan Peterson exploded in the first place was not because of like his actual message of like what his actual message, but it was because in Canada, I don't know how long ago this was, a few years, were trying to make a certain thing illegal, that you had to refer to people as the proper pronouns that they wanted you to, which is just totally bizarre. I'm okay with people thinking, whatever. You can believe you're a zebra or a freaking toaster oven. I don't care. The problem I have is when you're enforcing that on other people. It's basically the equivalent of like, I'm religious, so if I went to your house and we were going to eat, I would not make you pray over your food. I pray over my food, but that's my thing, right? I believe that's to be, whether it's delusional or not. Like, we can have that discussion or some other time, whether religion's delusional or not. So like, that's just what I would do. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. That's how I'm gonna do it, right? Well, this would be the equivalent of if I went into your house and I was gonna eat your food. Yeah, I put on the pause mode because I'm a wiener. Anyway, and I was gonna eat your food that you prepared for me, and I demand that you say grace before we eat. Okay, we don't say grace in my religion, but like, that's the equivalent. I demand that you pray over the food with me, even though you don't believe in that stuff. I do. It doesn't matter what you believe. I believe that, and you're gonna offend me, and that's that makes you the bad guy. So yeah. So that was his whole, like, how he started. Right. That's not how he started. He was on YouTube. He even says from 2013. I'm going off of this guy's research. I don't really care. I'm not that kind of channel. If I have misinformation, the 4 people that watch this video could tell me. I don't know. What the freak? My like HDMI cable not plugged in. Anyway, so yeah, so this guy's saying, so he's been on here from 2013, but he got big because of a political issue. And the funny thing is, Peterson never treated it as a political issue. If you watch the whole thing, he talks about it, how it is a psychological issue, which transgender stuff should be treated as psychological stuff, not political. It hurts way more people when we take a health issue and make it political. I can't believe we haven't figured that out. If we would just stop, putting everything in politics and make stuff, like based on science, we would have so much less problems in the world. Now, I'm not saying it would cure it, okay? Or that it needs to be cured. I'm just saying there's actual help out there that politics are not freaking offering, especially when everyone else has to play in to the delusional. Yes, I do consider it delusional. I'm not saying delusional is a bad term. I know it has bad connotations with it, but let me explain. If your brain was telling you that you do not have a right arm, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor tells you, well, you don't have a right arm. Why don't you just go cut that arm off to appease your brain? That doctor would be fired and sued heavily for malpractice. And yes, no, I think that's actually a pretty like a 1-to-1 scenario there. If you go to a doctor because you believe you're a different gender, which there's nothing wrong with you believing that. Really, there isn't. Like morally wrong. There's nothing morally wrong with you. You are not like an a-hole. You are not a demon or whatever. You're just a person that is suffering from an issue, right? A psychological issue. So you go to an expert. Well, if that expert then tells you the best way to help you with this issue, which is an issue that goes against actual facts and reality in definition of delusion, and he tells you, well, you should go get a surgery to make it so your brain is appeased. That doctor is a freaking moron, okay? He should be sued for malpractice. He won't be. And he should be fired. Okay? You believing that you are a different gender than what you actually are is a delusion and needs actual treatment. Surgery is such a freaking leap in logic in any medical field. We, like, as doctors, doctors will try their hardest for you not to need surgery because it is a risk no matter where, what, or when you are doing it. Heck, there's just a risk in going under to do surgery. The doctors aren't even quite sure that you'll wake up from the anesthesia, okay? For a doctor, a trained person, especially one that doesn't work with surgeries, to tell you that you need one is ridiculous, especially when they're a psychologist or, a psychiatric person, whatever the frick they want to call themselves. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, my personal opinion is out of the way. So Jordan Peterson talked about this in Canada a few years back, whatever. It was a huge debate on his campus. People are saying that they're like Nazis at his rallies, whatever the heck, because that's really all the left really ever comes up with. And when I say left, I do not mean Democrat. I think there is value in democratic views. I really do. I think there's a lot in remembering the people and not the policy. Okay, I think there's a lot of value within them. But the left, when I refer to the left, I don't even refer to political people. I refer to freaking people that are off their rocker insane. Okay? I'm talking people that would turn you in to Stalin if you called them the freaking wrong pronoun. All right? These people are insane and they are being manipulated heavily by a lot of the politicians, right and left. they're just really their own category, and it's the whole woke culture shit that is just it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, he's saying basically, if I'm understanding him correctly, which I will admit I may be jumping to conclusions, whatever. Maybe I'm misjudging this guy. He might be a really cool dude, whatever. I mean, I've never met him, so I'm not saying he's a bad dude. I just say his opinion's wrong. And he can still have the opinion. I'm not offended by the opinion. It's not even about me. It doesn't really affect me. Oh, I need to go build a house. Oh, I don't have a bed on me, do I? I don't. Well, I'll build the house, then go get the bed, I guess. So he's basically. I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, like, but to bring up that his whole like how he got really popular on YouTube was because of politics, and like to imply that that is why he cannot say he's non-political. You have no power what you get famous on YouTube for. I mean, he didn't even post those videos originally himself. That was other people, and then his post got way more popular because of that. But it wasn't him. That was all. Actually, I'm gonna build it up here. That was all like uncontrolled. And then like the fact, like you can go watch this guy's video. The fact that he's suggesting that he talks about all these political stuff on political shows. First off, yeah, political people want him on their show, and Jordan Peterson probably wants to get paid, and he probably is okay with getting basically free exposure by these popular people. Heck, who wouldn't be? And so, yeah, he's going to go on these shows. But the thing is, the way he talks about this, like the political problems and stuff, it's not about Trump versus Biden or any of that crap. It's literally just the stuff he knows about is all he'll talk about, and that's all he's asked about. And he knows what he's talking about. Like, just listening to him, the way that he talks, if you know anything about talking to people, you can tell the difference when someone's full of crap. Well, actually, it's hard to tell when someone's full of crap, but it is easy to tell when someone knows what they're talking about. It's because they will, instead of focusing on what they're saying, they're going to be focused on how they say it, or how it's brought, to the listener. They're going to be focused on their wording and stuff like that. The people that don't know what they're talking about, they're not going to be they're not going to be focused that much on how they're saying it. They might be focused on trying to convince you that it's right, which is a little bit of how you're saying it. But I'm trying to think. It's just, you can tell the difference. At least you can tell when someone knows what they're talking about. Okay? You just can. Like, you can tell that he knows what he's talking about because, one, he gets very passionate about it, without just bursting into tears because of certain things. And one sec, I'm just trying to. Oh, I didn't even bring any of the keys, so I have to go back anyway. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just weird what this guy's trying to say. I guess we could watch some more of it, or listen to some more of it.
Why is he even so popular? First of all, He's very effective at tapping into the anti-social justice warrior thinking that's happening in the minds of many young people. Whether these young people were previously on the right or on the left, or just people who didn't really think too much about politics, they were to some degree annoyed by perceived political correctness on their college campus or on social media. Peterson has regularly uploaded videos to YouTube since 2013, but he really grew in terms of the size of his following when he became this outspoken anti-SJW activist, political activist, I would argue, in late 2016.
You can be an anti some, like, the thing is that trans science and stuff falls within his domain. And just because he has an opposing opinion to the left, it makes him a politician. So you're telling me the Game Grumps are politicians? They have some opinions about that they have outspoken for, and but it's usually like, you know, like at least a little pro left. They're not super political. But are you telling me that they're politicians and that they, like, just because they haven't been on political talk shows and asked to go on all those things? That's what I was gonna say. It's kind of hard to keep your train of thought when you're just kind of going off the cuff. Yeah, but to finish up this thought, so you're telling me the Game Grumps are politicians? It's just that they're for the left, so they don't get, you know. It's not as egregious. I mean, and I love the Game Grumps. You know, I probably identify with how they, like, at least the politics that they've come out with, which they're not very political, which I actually like. I don't like it when YouTubers get political, because it's like, well, I mean, if it's a political channel, fine, you know, and if you get brought onto a political channel, that's cool, but I don't care. Your political alignment does not affect mine, and it shouldn't affect anybody else's. And yeah, you might have like a little bit more weight behind what you're saying. But anyway, so the getting invited on talk shows. So yeah, he got famous for a political thing. He's going to get invited on political talk shows because people are talking about him. Duh. So the political talk show wants him on, and he wants to go on because it's free exposure. Who the frick wouldn't want to go on a political talk show? Heck, I would go on a political talk show because it would be freaking funny. Okay? So he goes on these political talk shows. How much of an asshole do you have to be to get invited on a political talk show, knowing it's a political talk show, knowing that it's not only a political talk show, but it's probably, you know, the opposite side of the political spectrum than you are. And then when they ask you a political question, you just don't answer. Because he brought up earlier, you know, other famous people get brought on talk shows. They get asked political questions. They don't answer. You know, why doesn't he? Why is he so outspoken? It's like, that's why the network wants him there, is to answer political questions. And he doesn't see it as answering political questions. He sees it as answering scientific questions. Because most of politics don't belong in politics. They should belong in science. And it's freaking ridiculous. Anyway. Like how much of an a-hole do you have to be to go on there knowing what they want from you, knowing you're going to get free exposure, and then not say anything? Not answer any political questions. How much of an a-hole do you think you have to be? Like 10% a-hole? 20% a-hole? Maybe even 30, you know? Yeah, it's just ridiculous. How long have I been recording for? 24 minutes. Okay, I'm going to continue this in another video. I'll probably call it like the Political Terraria series or something stupid. Anyway, I'll see ya.